Now, see, when you see Ewing dribbling the basketball, that's where he'll have trouble with his wrist. Lost control of the basketball. His guards right now has to get him underneath the basket and punch it into him right away.
Jackson with 8 on the 24. Mark Jackson on the run. Into the lane for Davis, who tries to muscle it up. They let the contact go, and New York comes away with the ball. And now Antonio Davis with a foul.
Again, Patrick Ewing present in the middle.
The importance in the fourth quarter of staying away from that free throw line, being in the penalty situation. The fourth shot by Antonio Davis. Chris Mills digs it out. He knows what's at stake here. Antonio Davis with a hustle foul. But now Indiana in the penalty, so New York will shoot 2 free throws. New York only 2 fouls. They can still be very aggressive. They have 2 fouls to give before you get into the last 2 minutes. They can be very aggressive around the basket now.
Knicks by 6. NBC tonight begins with an all-new episode of The Pretender, followed by the explosive 2-hour season finale of Profiler. An all-new night of thrills beginning at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on NBC tonight. Knicks 77, Pacers 70. Indiana has missed its last 7 shots. Miller can't put an end to that. New York ball. They have outscored the Pacers in this fourth quarter 15-4.
Isaiah, you talked about it earlier in the telecast. You said Chris Mills could be a guy that could really help them today. He has. It doesn't show up in the box score. That time a big hustle play to knock the ball off Davis and give his team another possession.
And Reggie Miller bumps Houston.
See, they caught Reggie Miller pushing Houston in the back that time. Those two are guarding each other so close. Reggie is trying to avoid the screen, and his little nudge right there pushes Houston in the back. Houston does what Reggie Miller does, goes with the contact, and he gets the flop this time.
It's an 8-point game.
See, when you look out on the floor at Indiana, they have no inside scoring ability. And the only 2 scorers out on the floor from the perimeter is Miller and Mullins. And it's going to be very difficult for them to come back from a 9-point lead shooting jump shots.
Houston, all but invisible in the second half, hits 2 free throws. New York by 9. Reggie trying to draw the foul and make sure it's an active shooting foul, and it's on Patrick. That's his 3rd.
See, I thought Patrick played really good defense that time. Reggie Miller came off the screen. Allen Houston got caught up on the screen, and Patrick jumped out, and I thought Reggie Miller jumped into him. I thought he established his position.
Yeah, but if you look at the right arm, Isaiah, he broke the plane with his right arm. Patrick did everything right except that right arm reached in on top of him. And you know when that right arm comes down, they're normally going to call a foul.
Oh, man, Reggie Miller, nearly a 90% free throw shooter, hearing it from Spike Lee and the rest of the crowd as he misses the first. One of 2.
Now, New York has done everything going to the basket. Little trap here and make sure they handle it and continue to go to the basket and try to shoot layups, not jump shots.
So you had a 3-on-1 underneath. Patrick Ewing lost control of the ball because he's not able to catch it as well.
Here is Patrick. Not this time. Davis loses it, though. Johnson to the floor. And it looks like the Pacers touched it last.
That's when you want to use a timeout right there. It's vital. You're up 8, 3 minutes to go. You get the possession. They take a timeout. It'll be Knicks possession.
So Johnson called timeout before the ball went out of bounds. The Knicks will have it. Antonio doesn't prevail against Utah. They have really served notice in this postseason. You know, they're a force to be dealt with next year.
I said I thought in 2 years Tim Duncan would probably be the MVP of this league. And when he was coming out of college, people questioned his heart, but yet he steps up and he's playing on a sprained ankle. So I don't think that question is there anymore.
Knicks lead it 79-71. The Pacers have scored just 5 points in this quarter. 5 points in 9 minutes. And a blocking foul as Childs works with the dribble. Antonio Davis, his second.
A couple areas that we talked about today, key. New York, 11 offensive rebounds, only 4 in Game 2. Critical that they've been much more aggressive on the boards. New York has won the battle of the boards 37-26. Larry Bird says the team that wins the rebounding will win the series. Indiana won the first 2 games. And now the fourth quarter, the free throw shooting. New York getting there. Indiana still, New York only 3 team fouls. They still have 1 to give.
Also, Doug, we talked about Indiana's bench and how important they've been in this series. Today, they've been outscored 33-12.
And how important is the free throw shooting? The Knicks have been like a team of Chris Mullins at the line. 22 of 23 now. And up by 10. Antonio Davis muscles it home. But time running short here on the Pacers. Between 2 defenders to Johnson, and his pass knocked out. Nick Ball.
Now New York on this out-of-bounds play loves to run a little double stack with Allen Houston coming off a double screen by Larry Johnson and Ewing. Let's see if they can get him a shot.
In 5 seconds. Mills. Missed it. Childs. Another big play. And he circles back out with it. Offensive foul as Ewing worked for his shot. Chris Childs, in less than 48 hours, has gone from nearly being run out of town, I mean, the talk shows were all over him, to the darling of the Garden crowd here in Game 3.
But I think if they took a look at the things that he's done in this series to Mark Jackson defensively, they would love him.
And a Knick foul that stops the clock with 1:55 remaining. And New York up by 8. Remember, right behind us, they'll be set to go from the Alamo Dome. The Spurs and the Jazz in Game 3 of that series. First game, a 1-point affair. Second game, a 3-point Jazz win in overtime. San Antonio, hopeful of doing what the Knicks may be on their way to doing here. Come back home, win Game 3, get back in the series. Unfortunately for the Pacers, the man at the line is Dale Davis, and he clanks 2 of them up there. So they come away with nothing. Childs double-teamed in the corner. Throws it off Davis's leg and out of bounds. The Knicks as a team, as we mentioned a moment ago, 22 of 23 at the line. Dale Davis alone, 2 of 10. Leave everything else aside. There's the game. There's the difference right there. On the inbound, it's Mills. And that may seal it. They're up 10. Jackson, they've got to hurry. It's Mark Jackson missing on the bank. Childs comes away with it. Looks like the Knicks will have a chance to even the series 24 hours from now when they come back to the Garden for Game 4. Larry Johnson, as the shot clock is about to expire, and Johnson is fouled. Now that's about the worst thing that can happen if you're trailing, if you're going to let them run the whole 24-second clock down to just about 0 and then commit a foul.
Doug, I think one of the keys to this game has been today is Jeff Van Gundy making the decision